Today's episode is brought to you by Dr. Geoffry Hallstead, DMD. Dr. Geoffry Hallstead has been Canandaigua's hometown dentist for more than 35 years, offering routine dental care as well as cosmetic dentistry, implants, and dentures by their highly trained and experienced staff. Visit them online at canandaiguadentistry.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome to the FingerLakes1.com studio. I am joined today by Dr. Geoffry Hallstead and John Isaac. We are talking about Canandaigua Dentistry and a special fundraising event that's happening in Canandaigua. Fellas, thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, Josh. Thanks for having us.
So let's first talk about Canandaigua Dentistry. Why did you become a dentist?
I actually became a dentist because I was exposed to it at a young age through my father, who was a dentist in Canandaigua. And I enjoyed how he could help people and how he could get people healthy and all the things that he could do. And it really was part of the family growing up. And so I took a liking to it at a young age, decided probably about 9 years of age that I wanted to do it. Worked through it, went to the same dental school he did. Unfortunately, he was not healthy enough to be alive when he died of prostate cancer when I started. And so I kind of started, but the patients welcomed me in. A lot of them knew me since I was a little kid, and it's been a great ride ever since. I've enjoyed it. I've been doing it for 35 years, and it's fantastic. Dentistry has changed immensely in those 35 years, and I can help people so much more than my father could, so I really like it. And what I'm here to talk about today, besides me, is giving back to the community and especially helping our veterans. My daughter's in the Army, so we always want to help our veterans as much as we can. And having the VA there right in Canandaigua is a big boost to that. So I can use my dentistry to help those that have allowed me to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And before we get into the Shootout for Soldiers, which is the reason why John's here, and we're going to be talking about that extensively here in a minute, you just mentioned how much dentistry has changed. Elaborate on that a little bit for us, because 35 years in any industry, you see a lot of change. But in terms of dentistry, some people might be thinking, well, I go to the dentist, I get a cleaning, get a filling here and there. They might not see or think of some of the things that have dramatically changed over that time.
Some of the early changes in my career started with just the materials that we were using. A lot of people know the old silver material, amalgam as it's called, that was black and ugly looking, put a lot of pressure on a tooth, would create cracks in teeth and fracture off parts. A lot of people listening might say, oh yeah, I remember I had that, and part of my tooth broke one day, and I was only chewing a piece of bagel or something. Some of the others that have come is the imaging, the ability to look at things better, three-dimensionally to be able to see. And the cosmetics. We used to have gold and silver was all that we used in our mouth, and none of it's cosmetic. And we came out with composites, which made them nice for white fillings, but then we came out with the porcelains, which allowed us to do reshape front teeth and do better smiles. The aspect of moving teeth and lining them up better has come, and now we're even moving into a farther world where we can actually grow bone in adults and get teeth in a better shape, utilizing a lot of that. So it's just changed immensely with not only the ability of the technology and the imaging things that we can use, but also in the aspect of giving people that straight smile so they're not ashamed of their smile when they walk down the road. And when people start smiling, they feel happier, and they just seem that much nicer and polite.
Absolutely. And to that end, I have to ask, because I think it's probably one of the more common anxieties that exist, anxiety around going to the dentist. What's your message to folks who maybe have put off a couple cleanings because they're a little anxious when they go to the dentist?
Some of that anxiety may be based on what they're going to find. Some of that anxiety may be based on, how it used to be and what they used to put up with. Afraid of getting shots, things to that effect. We actually use a laser in my practice to do restorations with fillings in kids especially. A lot of my children don't get numbed up at all. The laser is pretty cool. It makes a popping noise, so we call it the popcorn machine. And it really allows them to have a nice visit, and then they don't have to worry about being numb for hours afterwards and biting their lip. So I would say that, if it's a really overwhelming fear, there are dentists out there, I am not one, but that do a sedation aspect where you can sleep through the appointment. But there's also a lot of techniques that we can do to help people feel at ease.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the Shootout. The Shootout for Soldiers. John, thanks so much for being here to talk about this.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about what it is. So what is the Shootout?
Shootout for Soldiers is a 24-hour lacrosse marathon, not a tournament. It's a marathon,
Yeah.
and it's a fundraiser for veterans. What we do is we start on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and we end at Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We have new teams come in every hour, 2 new teams come in every hour, and those teams are going to pay a fee to play, and then they're going to fundraise. And that's what we do. We raise money for veterans charities, and that helps. That's
Yeah.
how we do it.
How did you get involved in this, or how did this sort of cross-pollination start to happen?
Mainly my involvement was through my daughter. She's a lieutenant in the Army, and having a child in the military makes a mother a Blue Star mother. Never want to graduate to a Gold Star mother, which most of your listeners would know is a person who's lost their child in the service. So we want a lot of Blue Star mothers to come, and that's who we support, one of the charities. So as a Blue Star mother, the chapter in Canandaigua, which is one of the first original chapters of Blue Star Mothers, they came to us in the very beginning and wanted to support it. So my wife and I actually went and sat at the first competition or fundraiser, if you will, to tell them what is Blue Star, what do they do, how do they support things. At the time, the Blue Star Mothers were on the campus of the VA hospital in Canandaigua, and they would serve a meal every Wednesday night to any veteran that wanted to come and have a meal. So it was great camaraderie, great talk. There was also pantry and clothing, so they give articles of clothing out to people who need it. They would help people moving into things for the first time with furniture and things like that, pots and pans. And so we did that. From my standpoint, they also need personal toiletries, which comes in toothbrush, toothpaste, so we help make sure they have that, and floss. So we started with that. I'm a Canandaigua graduate. I didn't play lacrosse. I was a swimmer, but I really liked lacrosse, and John was like, we could use the help, and so we kind of came in that way. So my wife and I are representative of the Blue Stars, but on the other hand, we're also on the committee to help support the competition.
And John, how long has this been going on in Canandaigua? I know this. I've been hearing about this annually for some time now, it feels like.
This year is going to be our 6th year of holding this event in Canandaigua. In the past 5 years, we've raised over $330,000 for the charities.
It's incredible.
Which, in an area the size of Canandaigua is pretty incredible. We're very proud of that number.
I was going to say, how does Canandaigua compare to some other host venues for something like this?
We are definitely the smallest venue that's ever been in Shootout for Soldiers. Some of the other sites this year alone are Atlanta, New York City, Long Island area,
Major
Baltimore,
cities. Yeah.
Virginia, and then there's a little old Canandaigua. But we like to think we do things a little different because lacrosse is not our big focus.
Yeah.
We focus more on the veterans and helping the veterans. The community itself, we do a lot of things. We have food trucks and bands and just things to get people there to engage with the veterans and the active duty military that is there for our event. And lacrosse is there too, obviously, a secondary aspect of it.
When you think about year one versus present day, what stands out to you the most about just how the process and sort of that evolution?
It amazes me every year that just people show up for it. I mean, it's a game, but it's a brilliant concept to use this game to help people, and we're getting better at pulling people in to help. Last year alone, we raised $85,000, which was our personal record. So
It's incredible.
yeah.
Which John doesn't tell you, beat every other venue except for Long Island.
That's
So we place second and we're the smallest. So big hearts in this area.
yeah,
Really big.
absolutely. So organizationally, pulling something like this off every year, I'm sure there's some organic, return patrons, of course. But what does that effort look like? It must be a year-round effort to some degree.
It's a year-round effort. It's a lot of volunteers. It's a lot of emails, banging on doors, just going out, getting our name out there, getting our logo out there, just talking to people. I've got a great group of people that work with me. We probably have like 25, 26 people on our committee alone, which is way more than any other the cities that host us have.
Yeah.
And I think we're from such a diverse, such a diverse group of people that it really helps us. Like, we have some lacrosse people that are there for lacrosse. We have the Blue Star parents that are there.
Yeah.
We have just people that want to help out. You know, they don't know anything about lacrosse, but they just want to help. You know, it's a great group, and we do really, really good work.
I was going to say, for those who maybe don't have any children who've played lacrosse or don't really have any experience with the sport, what's the best way for them to get involved, to help give back, to help, you know, that mission, that awesome mission?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can always make a donation at shootoutforsoldiers.com. There's a little button there to click on. You know, make sure you give it to Canandaigua. Don't give it to Long Island. They don't need it. We do. You can also just come out and hang out, see what it's about, maybe even play. Pick up a stick and play. That's one thing we promote in Canandaigua is just you don't have to be a high school All-American, a college All-American. You can just be, you know, like I never played the game until I got into Shootout for Soldiers. And we started a game at midnight where you only play in costumes, Halloween costumes. That was my first experience playing lacrosse. You know, I've had children that play the game, but I loved it. Oh, it was great. So, you know, anybody can play. Come on out. Just we'll get a stick for you. Just come out, have some fun, see what it's about. And by doing that, you're helping out our veterans.
Yeah. I'm curious. 24 hours, is there any repeat playing in that span where, you know, someone will play 1 hour and then maybe an hour or two the next day? I mean, that's a long way.
We have some players who are they are competitive. Most of those are previous players,
Yeah.
whether it's high school or college. But they will come, they will play, they'll have a team go out that doesn't have a full onslaught, and they're like, hey, I'll play. One of the things that John didn't really is, well, a couple things. One is my wife has never played any sport. She put on a costume, picked up a lacrosse stick, had one of the young kids put the ball in the stick for her because she didn't know how to play, and she ran with it.
Yeah.
And she was still excited. And that was at midnight. You know,
Yeah.
she's usually asleep by then. So she even does it. We have, one of the nice things is the very first game is all veterans.
Very
The
cool.
very last game is all veterans.
Awesome.
We have Seneca County Sheriffs playing the Ontario County Sheriffs.
And the Monroe
There's
County
some
Sheriffs.
Monroe County Sheriffs. There's some big rivalries that do go on.
Yeah.
And so there is some competition there. But it's also always fun. Just whoever wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. I don't know how to play lacrosse. I don't understand it. I love watching it. I love watching them play. But like he says, it's about the veterans. But we have a huge, I'd almost call it a carnival going on. I mean, there are, like you said, food trucks and bands and games to play, vendors, all sorts of veteran businesses out there. You know, some of them are helping raise money for their things. People can contribute directly to those things. So there's a lot going on, and it goes all 24 hours. We have an open ceremony at 6 o'clock Saturday night, and Whiskey 7, a World War II plane from Geneseo, flies over top of the stadium at Canandaigua, and it is amazing to watch.
Pretty cool.
It is so cool. You know, we have a group of motorcyclists come in, loud and proud.
Yeah.
It's just,
Drive
we
right
want
to the
people to
stadium.
come and have fun. It's not just about the lacrosse.
It sounds like a almost better spectator experience even than playing.
Absolutely.
Just in terms of what you can do, and then also to see some of these rivalries that have developed over the
Absolutely.
last several years.
Absolutely. And anybody that comes to play, they can play as many games as they want. We don't care. Just
Wild.
come out, bring a stick, have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
We get people from as far away as Buffalo.
Yeah.
So it's not a Canandaigua thing.
Right.
It's the Finger Lakes thing. It's Western New York thing. And it, like he says, supports veterans. We're open to break 100,000 this year. I know we can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's put together such a team to work on this, and they have so many ideas, and it's just amazing to watch the evolution from we really start in January. Yes, we do some things through December, November, but we really start in January. Full wheel, you know, rubber to the metal, hanging out, getting together, getting things going, and I tell you, it's great. Ideas are popping off of everything. So
And no idea is ever too crazy.
yeah.
Open to
Pull
anything.
it off, we'll do it.
We're still looking for a Ferris wheel.
Still
If
looking
anybody
for
can bring us a
Ferris wheel,
Ferris
if
wheel.
anybody knows of a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. We need a Ferris wheel.
We need a Ferris wheel.
All right, that's the call to action here. We need a Ferris
We need
wheel
a Ferris
stat.
wheel.
The flyover was call to action number 1. We got that. We've been there. We've done that. We're doing it again. Now we need a Ferris wheel. So
Ferris wheel seems like a much lower bar. Seems like
one
a
would
much
think, right?
Flyover
I mean, okay, so last thing here, any deadlines? What are the kind of like benchmark deadlines that we have coming up ahead of this where it's a good idea to get things in if you're going to be participating or whatever the case may be?
It would be much easier on me and the staff if everybody would register by July 1st. We'll take registrations right up till an hour before your team's going to play. It's not a big deal. But July 1st this year is a bit of a cutoff because when you do sign up to play, you get a jersey. You get a jersey, and that's yours to keep. And you also get an event T-shirt with all of our sponsors on the back. And it's us events, site-specific. It says Canandaigua Shootout for Soldiers. But after July 1st, you won't get that T-shirt. You'll still get your jersey. So that's a big deadline we're pushing. Believe me, making a schedule, it's a lot easier if I have a little more time.
Do it for people like John who
Please.
need every second they can possibly have between now and then. One more time, the website where folks can learn more, register, all that.
www.shootoutforsoldiers.com. We also have, Canandaigua also has our own social media sites on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check us out. We like to think we're witty and funny, but probably really aren't.
And Dr. Hallstead, where folks can learn more about your practice in Canandaigua.
Canandaiguadentistry.com is my website. I'm in Canandaigua up next to Thompson Hospital. In the phone book, they can call me. There is Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. I'm an archaic guy. I keep up with technology, but I don't do technology. So the Instagram, Facebook accounts and stuff, I have a young lady who takes care of all that, and with the help of Finger Lakes One. So we do that. So check us out. Feel free to call. We're all about whole health and getting people what they are looking for to be healthy and strive, and be able to play lacrosse for 24 hours. No.
24 hours straight.
24 hours straight.
It's a riot. It is fun, and I didn't ever think I'd be that way, but it is so amazing to watch these people and knowing. We had a gentleman, how old was he? 99?
94.
94? Come over. And he was entertaining the young kids and whatnot, but he's a 94-year-old veteran, and he was walking on his own, and it was amazing. We also support Honor Flight, so a lot of people know what that is. We help them out, and it's just an amazing thing to do. So come out, have fun. You don't have to play. You don't have to do anything. I mean, we'd love people to come help.
Seeing that sun come up, too.
Yeah, because
Out over to
you've
7
almost
o'clock in
made
the
it through
morning.
the marathon.
And if you don't play lacrosse, there's a 24-hour U.S. flag run around the stadium every hour, every half hour. I think we're putting it for. But you can pay. You can donate.
Yeah.
You make pay to have the honor of carrying the U.S. flag around the field for a half hour, an hour that we can do. And so it's pretty cool. And we had one gentleman. He did it a number of hours.
He did.
And we got a
Rain or
nice
shine,
picture
too.
on our site that of the one of our national people who running the flag as the sun came up. It was so moving to watch. It was just so cool.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, they can come do that. They don't have to play lacrosse.
All right. Hey, thanks both of you for coming down today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
That'll do it for this edition of Finger Lakes Today. If you'd like to see more conversations like this one, check out the show on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to the FingerLakes1.com YouTube channel. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.